we are going to see some more advanced topic for the dependency injection. So let me just recap the dependency injection what I have already explained in my previous video, and I would recommend please visit my previous video for the better understanding. And on the upper side, top of your screen, that link is coming, or in the description also I will give that. So I will just take the 30 second, then I will move to the code part, right? So what is dependency injection? Dependency injection says suppose you have the one bank class and that depend upon the card and customer. So what we used to do as a Java developer, we create the new card and the customer object and assign to the bank. But what is the problem with that? This is the hard code, right? Tomorrow if you have to change something, a different card or different kind of customers, so then you have to again come stop the production and change the code, right? We have the tight coupling. You can see the code that my card or bank are very tight coupled here, right? And the testing also. So tomorrow if you something change in the card or the customer functionality, so again you have to test the whole environment, whole code base, right? So what is the solution? Spring Framework say, hey guys, you don't worry, I will give one the magician, that name is the dependency injection. They will create the object on behalf of you. So if you see here that they will create the card and the customer object and assign to the my code. But 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 so having that, now it is not the tight coupled, right? So someone is making the object on behalf of you, and these are the benefit of the dependency injection as we have already discussed in the previous video. So but how the dependency injection component create the bean for you or the pojo for you or the object for you? So dependence, the Spring Framework have the concept of the Spring IOC container, that you may call it as a bean factory. So they will create the bean on behalf of you. But how they will create? So that's why you have to give the information in the XML format, that I want this bean and all the dependencies or the bean you have to give that. They will create the bean, right? This is the way how it works. But there are many way to achieve the dependency injection. One through the XML that I showed you now, and one through the annotation, and one through the program. So that all the way I have already shown, and complete hands-on code from scratch we have done in the previous video. This video we are going to see something more advanced. But just for the recap, because we are going to the annotation based, so this the XML thing is not required. So if you see the dependency injection what we achieve through the XML, you used to write this kind of code. So instead of this bean, you have to use the component, okay, that I will explain you. And for this configuration file, no need to this XML configuration file. On top, instead of that, you should have one Java configuration file, but you have to say to Spring Framework, hey Spring Framework, you consider this my Java class as a configuration. That's why you have to notify with the at the rate of configuration, right? And this annotation component scan, so you just make the filter to inform the dependency injection. No need to visit all my package to making the bean for me. You just visit this package, and that is sufficient, right? So performance will increase. Okay. So we have already seen the component configuration, component scan, and the bin in the previous video. In this video, I am going to explain what is the primary, what is the value, and what is the property source, right? So now go open one Eclipse, create one new package as a Maven, new project, sorry, as a Maven project, and choose the Maven project. Next, click here, simple project. Then next, and give some name. I can give any name, and I can say the DI annotation advance. Okay, and just finish it. If we create one project advance, and as we know that we have to add the dependency um, for the Spring Framework. So you go and add this dependency to make your project compatible for the Spring purpose, right? So this is the dependency 4.0.0 is, this is the optional, but this is Spring framework is required, right? Now save it. So now what I will say, you because this is annotation based, so no need to create any XML file. Go in the main Java, create one package name. You can give anything. I can give the di dependency injection, and first and foremost create one any Java class. So I will create one Java class with the name of log message. You can create any one. I give the log message, right? And in the log message give any any private message, private string. So we have to just check it how it works, right? And make one method to show this. So I just make one small method to show this, to show the message part. That's it, right? And now I have already explained that we have to inform that this is my bean, so you have to use the component, right? And give one ID here, as I have already explained in the previous video. This ID you can give any name, this ID. And of course you need one XML file that will act as a your configuration, Java configuration, right? So you can create any Java file for your configuration purpose. So let me make one, create one Java file. I give this log message configuration, and of course, as I have already explained, you have to inform to this the Spring framework. Hey Spring framework, you consider this file as a my configuration file, right? So we don't have XML, we have this the one, and it will consider on your package what you have just created, di package. So it will go to the di package. So my configuration is done. Now go the log message. This is okay. Now I will say create one demo, create one demo class, so I can check my code and public static void main, right? This is the starting point of the code. So here we have already explained in the previous video that we have to make one bean factory, right? This is the bean factory, and we have to import all the required classes here. And if you see, I have passed this the configuration file. This is my configuration file, log message configuration. We have just make it, and this is empty. This is just empty. Just I want to inform this is the my configuration file. Okay. Now if you see here, I pass this log, and this log is matching with this log, and that's why I am able to create the my log message bean. Just run it, and it is working fine. Spring is super easy. That message is coming from here. Okay. Now thing is that it is not necessary that you have to pass the component here, right? Even I will not pass these things. I will just make it a component, and demo class you have to just little bit change. You pass this class here instead of the bean. It should work, right? And no need to typecasting. So now you can see that I have removed the ID here. So how it will work? Now I will ask my application context bean factory, hey bean factory, give me the bean with the name of log message. So they will check the type, and he will go here and check all the Java class which has notifying, which has the as have the component annotation, and see the name log message. So this log message is matching with this log message, right? And they will able to create, and now still it will work. If you check, it is working fine. This is also it is working fine. Now make one experiment. What experiment you want to do? I suppose create one more log message. So just do the copy paste and make the two, right? Make the two and give the as it is. Just for the changing purpose you can say from second class, just for the identification purpose, with everything same. And make one interface, an interface name you can give the ilog message. So interface name you can give the ilog message, sorry. And just add one sample method. That method is already there in your log message, in both log message. This is the abstract method. And this ilog message, what I am going to implement here, right? So okay, no problem so far. Copy it and make it here also in the log message too. Okay, and so far so good. Go to the demo. It will still work because I have not changed anything, so it is still working fine. This log message is coming right from the first class. Now instead of the class name I will give the interface name here. So this is my interface. As it was working through the name, but now ilog message has the two class. One is the log message.java, one is the log message2. Now it will confuse that which bean she is asking, because both bean has the component. This one also has the component, this one also has the component, right? So now you run the code and you see it will give the error to you because it is confused. But error is very super easy, you can understand. He is saying I am expecting single matching bean, but I found the two beans, right? So in this case, how you will solve the problem? Then one of the log message you have to annotate it with the primary. You have to say to Spring Framework, hey Spring Framework, in the case of the ambiguity, make this log message as the primary one, right? And now I just add the primary in the log message too. Now you see they will create the log message to bean and you will get this message. Spring is super easy from the second class. So go your demo class and run it. It will work fine, right? So this was the annotation based dependency injection. Now if you notice here, this is the hard code, right? We can say this is the hard code. Now if you want to pass this value through the log message, right, how you will do? So go in the log message to here. So this is the hard code, right? Now what I will do, I will make, instead of that, don't do that, there are many other way to do this that I want to, because you remember when you doing through the XML dependency injection, I used to pass the property argument or the constructor argument. That we can do it here also, right? And then you can use any message here with the annotation of the value. Let me show you what I'm saying. I use the value here, import, and then I gave the message. This is the, you can see the default message, right? It is still the kind of the hard code, but this is another way you can do it in the case of the annotation with the Java annotation, right? Now if you, what happen now, if you run this message should come, it will assign to this one, right? So now run this code save it, and now it is saying the Spring is awesome, right? How it is saying? So if you go the log message to, it took the value from here, right? Spring is awesome. Another way is do that. So now suppose you have to take the data from the properties file, right? So in many Java application you cannot keep all the hard code for your database credential, for the JDBC informations, server name. You cannot do that, right? So for that, what you have to do, you have to create one properties file, and you can see the resource folder here. So in this resource, you go make the new, and I will take the simple file and put the name, any name you can give, app data dot properties, right? And here you can give anything, whatever the information you want. I need the username, password, whatever you want, you can give it. This is the properties file. Just I am trying to explain in the Spring framework how you fetch the data from properties file and push into the code. So intention is that. But now you, in the log configuration file, you have to inform that what is your properties file name, right? And for that we have another annotation. That annotation name is the property source. So what I have done here, I add this property source, I gave this properties file name, app data properties, right? This is the same with this name. Along with that, you have to also add one static bean. This is the static bean you need if you want to use the properties file in your Spring framework. Now you see the magic. So now what happened? You have done that. You come in the log message. Now you can give any key value what is there in your app data. So suppose I have the app data, right? Property. I want to pass this value caption. So message is the Spring is excellent, right? So I want to give this, I want to set this value for that message property. So the, and this value key name is the caption, right? So you go in the log message too, right? And don't give this hardcore default. Instead of that, what you can do, you can pass this as a caption. That's it. So you have to pass as a caption, right? Now what happened? The moment they will say the dollar sign, it will go to the application configuration file. It will get the path of the app data properties. It will come here and take the caption. What is the value of caption? And they will assign to the message. Now you go the demo class and run it. Then you see what message is coming. Spring is excellent. From where this message is coming, it is coming from the here. Not only this much, these are the properties value, but also you can fetch your system properties value also. So that is not very useful here, but just I want to show what are the system variable in your laptop you have configured. So suppose we configure the Java home. If you want to get the print of the Java home due to some your work, you can also do that. Now run it, demo class, you will see the Java home here. See Java home here. So this is the way you can achieve the properties file information into the Spring framework. So I would recommend please visit all my videos and please be kind and subscribe my channel. A lot of effort is going there for that, right? Thank you very